All right, Nikki, the one thing I do need to find is the script, so give me a moment.
Oh, okay. I just resent it to you. So it's at the top of the email.
I got it. I got it. Okay. Good morning. For the record, I'm Chris Young, Chair of the HDC's SAC. Let's confirm access. Members, please respond with an I when I call your name. Paul Wolf.
Aye.
Kevin Kuster.
Aye.
Ben Normand.
Aye.
And Mark Gattone.
Aye.
Thank you. Staff, we have Nikki Sheriff.
Here.
Great. This open meeting of the HDC's SAC is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020. That order, posted with the agenda materials for the meeting, allow public bodies to convene remotely so long as public access to deliberations is reasonably provided. This meeting is convening via Zoom with video and audio recording. We're being broadcast on the town's YouTube channel. Please be careful not to share your screen and mute your audio unless you're called upon. Materials provided to members for the meeting or provided during the meeting are, unless otherwise noted, available on the town's website. I'll introduce agenda topics and speakers. Please direct all comments and questions through the chair to avoid crosstalk and the taking of minutes easier. Votes will be conducted by roll call. We'll move on, calling this meeting to order at 9:03 a.m. on Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. Do we have a motion to approve our agenda?
So moved.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mark. Ben, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Kevin?
Aye.
And Paul?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Great, thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from the last two meetings that were sent?
So moved.
Thanks, Kevin.
Second.
Thanks, Paul. Mark, you in favor?
Aye.
And Ben?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Great, thank you. Do we have anybody who is on the call for public comment that is not related to an application on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to, are there any commissioner comments that want to be made about items not on the agenda? Okay, let's move on to our first order of business. We have 5 Chestnut Street's projecting sign for the vault. Who is on the call?
So I submitted this sign a few weeks ago, and you know, the committee said they didn't want Nantucket on it, and I went back to the client, and so the name of their business is the Vault Nantucket, and they very much want Nantucket to be part of the sign. And we submitted some things that show that it is the name of their company, the Vault Nantucket.
Okay, there was also some discussion at that time, I think, about other signage on the building, right? As far as,
yeah, so they're not going to put a I guess that they had put out like a board at some point, which they're not going to do.
okay, and there's the menu box that is part of their business.
The menu box, yes.
Okay, so that would be 2 signs then. So no window signage or other signs would be included for the property.
No other signs.
Okay, let's go through the board. We'll do Ben, Kevin, Mark, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're looking at a picture right there. We're advertising. There's signage in the window, and that's not allowed. So that would have to go away as part of this.
Are you talking about the sticker there?
Yeah.
They can remove that.
Yeah. And we do generally have a policy not to allow Nantucket written on the sign as a geographical marker for the business. And I feel like including it in this one sort of a slippery slope. So I understand that it's supposedly a part of their name of their company. But I still feel like it's a bit of a slippery slope. But I'm interested to hear what my other commissioners have to say about that.
Kevin?
I tend to agree with Ben on this. There's lots of people that do business under different names. But I'm very concerned about the violations on this building. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe this is the store that's got neon on the wall on the inside. Can anybody confirm that?
I do not know anything about the neon on the wall.
Okay, well, I think I sent a photo
I'm
to
happy to ask them about that though.
Yeah, I think I sent a photo to you, Chris.
Oh,
Anyway, pardon.
Nikki, do you want to weigh in? I've forwarded everything that's been sent to me.
I haven't received anything for this one. I received for Neon, I received for Town Pool though, and I sent them a notice.
Okay. Well, I
Because
just
they
sent
do
it the
indeed
I
have
just sent
neon.
it the other day.
Oh, okay.
And it's a fairly recent photograph. Anyway,
Is
I'm
that
just
in this building?
I believe so, yeah. Anyway, I'm just very concerned about the violations that have been going on here. I understand that's not what's on the agenda, but there's been quite a few of them. That's all. Thanks.
Kevin, thanks. Mark?
Yeah, I don't know that I have anything new to add to what's been said.
Okay, Paul?
I have a question. The picture you were just showing, not that one, but the one of the door. What are those signs there? Are we looking at? One says the vault, the other one says.
I mean, that's a decal in their window. So
That's
if
one?
that is not I mean, I think a lot of people do stuff like that, but if that is not allowed, I can ask them to remove it.
It looks, yeah, okay, it looks to me like it's a sign, so, and I agree that Nantucket should not be on their major sign. Everybody knows where they are, and if you see a few others around that say Nantucket, they probably weren't approved. That's it.
All right, thanks, Paul. So Kara, it sounds like if the board were to make a recommendation for approval, it would go up requesting that the Nantucket be removed.
Okay, I will talk to the client about it and see what if they want to do a new sign or just keep what they have.
Okay, do you want, so we can hold for revisions, or we can recommend approval without the word Nantucket, and you can.
If you recommend, I mean,
that's how the board's gonna vote.
do you want to just wait till I talk to them after the meeting?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
sure. We can hold for revisions.
I motion to hold for revisions.
Thanks, Ben.
Second.
All right, Paul
Aye.
and Kevin.
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Ben.
Aye.
Okay. Thanks. All right, Kara, let us know what
Okay.
they say.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Are you here for any other applications?
Oh.
Maybe not. All right, 1 Cambridge Street.
Through you, Mr. Chair, just a second. iPhone 82, could you please identify yourself? Okay, I guess we'll just move on.
You can see on that.
Good
So-
morning, everybody. I'm here for 1 Cambridge. It's Tori.
Hi, Tori. So we have, interestingly, we have a wall sign and a projecting sign. Nikki, in the view pack, I think we have the projecting sign application twice instead of a copy of the wall sign.
So Nikki and I, sorry, through you, Mr. Chair. Nikki and I did discuss that I would screen share for a lot of these if things weren't necessarily correct, but I had to get on the 6:30 boat this morning. I do have my laptop with me, but I'm driving, listening for a second and talking, but I'm happy to pull over. And And if we could go through what is before you and you could opine on what you're able to and anything you're not, we could discuss further.
I think we just, Nikki, do you have a wall sign application?
Let me just check. But
Should
I'm
be.
gonna pull up the projecting sign so you guys can start discussing that one. And I'll
Okay.
search for the wall.
Okay. So there's a wall sign, a projecting sign. The size is 24 by 36. That's 6 square feet. That exceeds the limit for a project.
Yeah, that was, yeah, sorry, Chris, that to answer your question, that was filled out prior to my knowledge of our last round of applications. So I believe to keep it under, is it 4 square feet or 5 square feet if it's projecting?
It would be 4 square feet for a 1-story building.
For a 1-story building. I believe that new dimension, Sherry and I figured it out, is 18 by 22. Does that sound right?
Well, I'm gonna go through, let's go through the board for discussion purposes. I'll check that. We'll do Kevin, Mark, Paul, Ben.
Sorry, did you guys lose me for a minute?
No, we're gonna let the board members discuss. So
Okay.
hold on.
Okay.
So Kevin,
Uh, Sure. I'm assuming that the wall sign is basically the same.
yes, there it
Oh,
is.
there we go. Okay.
Yeah, the wall
Um,
sign is different. Yeah. Oh, same style. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could we go back to the projecting just a second? Okay. It looks like it's hard to tell, but it looks like maybe the border is different on the two signs. Oh, I guess that's got a white line, and so okay, there I see it. My only concern is that maybe that pink is a little too light. It should go a little darker and a little more subdued, but it's hard to tell from this photograph. So that's all comments I have.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
Scroll through this, so I can just see an overview again.
So this is the brick building that's a sort of adjacent to Gaslight on the same side of that street.
Across the street, Chris.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Right across in that corner with the church and Gaslight and post office.
Yep.
The other corner.
So sorry, maybe it's site plan? I'm trying to so it's gonna go in this building here.
Oh,
Go
One
down
that's being
further.
renovated now, right?
Correct. Yep. And they're kind of separating the two buildings. This will be only in the brick side of the building.
And is it clear where?
There it is right there. That's a good one, Nikki. That's where it's going.
And where's the sign's gonna be mounted adjacent to the
You-
door?
Yeah, the
Directing
wall
sign.
sign. Sorry, through you, Mr. Chair. The bracket sign is at that door right there on Cambridge, and the wall sign is proposed to be, I think it's North Union Street. Is that right? The gable end on the other side.
okay. So I think we were going to need to see
Yeah.
an elevation marked really clearly where it's going to go. That's a big part of the discussions that we had.
To the right of the door, there is where we were proposing it
For the projecting?
for the
And then
projecting.
wall sign is around the corner?
Yep, and I did submit separate photos of the gable end with the wall application.
Okay.
I guess I misunderstood where the sign was going. It would suggest we get a complete application.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might agree.
I'm not in favor of any
Well-
sign on a gable end of this building, and it's a little hard to tell if that's what they're intending.
I think we should get this application cleaned up a little bit. Less elevations of other buildings, just the relevant ones, and obviously both applications filled out with the right sizes. I think it will help us do a thorough review here.
Yeah, I
but-
apologize. I did do
Yeah.
2 separate applications for 2 separate signs. So if one is able to be facilitated versus the other, I'm not sure. And I was giving context with the neighborhood photos that there's no other signs particularly hanging on this particular area of those blocks.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other, I guess, just to close my own comments on this, so I agree with everything that was just said in terms of clarification, but and I think we also, given there's a low eve line on this elevation where the projecting signs to be placed, making sure it clears the sidewalk.
Do you have any coupons today?
And I may be the only one that, I don't know, I'm struggling a little bit with the pink on a red building.
Yeah.
Maybe we need a color chip. I don't know if it's the most successful design for this building. So I think a little more information would be useful for our review. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Let's let everybody speak here. Paul, any comments?
I have nothing to add.
Okay. And Ben?
Yeah, no, and I got to see a full, actually what we're doing here. It's the application's not complete, but I will say that I'm noticing around that signs that we're approving that are just a hair under the maximum size are feeling too big. There's one on Main Street that we recently approved that just looks way too big.
134.
So I don't know who's talking, but so I'm gonna in the future be pretty critical about scale because I think getting just to the maximum, just a hair under the maximum size for every building is not gonna be okay. So you know, I think this projecting sign and probably the wall sign need to be in scale with the building and not just the maximum allowed for the scale for the building. So so Tori, please keep that in mind as you're thinking about the size. That I will be really focusing on that in the future because I think we've made some mistakes recently regarding that.
Thanks, Ben. And incidentally, the 18 by 24, I think you said it was, Tori, that would be 2.75 feet. That would be appropriate size-wise for the guidelines. Ben, we'll let, that's a good point you make, Ben. About,
Chris, if I could just, we're still on this, just to clarify, I totally misunderstood that. I did not understand that the signs were going on this building. So my comments would be more in line with Mark on this. But I also want to point out that this building, as I understand it, looking at what I know so far, is allowed 2 signs at or near the entrance. So I would steer the applicant, you know, away from a gable end sign because it's not appropriate, especially on this, you know, small building and in an area where there are not a lot of signs. And I really hate to see it get cluttered up. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. All right, so Tori, it sounds like this application, we want to see it with the proposed sign locations clearly marked, keeping in mind Kevin's comments. I think those will be, and Ben's as far as scale, and Mark's as far as color combinations. I'm a little worried about the pink on the red brick as well. I think it just needs to be thought out. A color chip, pink is one of those colors where we've always had issues through the years with, you know, seeing it on a computer screen and then seeing it in reality. Sometimes it can be completely different. So,
yeah, I will. Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair. I did submit 2 different pink paint chips. I don't know if you guys were able to see those.
See, those are not with this application. Nikki, do you have those in the office? Nikki, you're muted at the moment.
Well, regardless, how about a motion to hold?
That's a good one. I'll be downtown later this morning. If I can take the color samples down and maybe get a photograph against the brick or something, we can see if we can help with color combinations for the next meeting.
I'll email because I can't find the application right now.
Okay.
I'll email it.
Thanks, Nikki. So Kevin has a hold for revisions, and that would be for the first sign, the projecting sign. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, Paul, Mark, you in favor?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
All right, thanks. And then for the wall sign, do we have a motion?
Hold for approval.
Hold for
Re-
revisions?
I'd have it
Review.
track the projecting sign.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm sorry.
As
What was
that-
that?
oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Make a
what was that?
motion to have it track the projecting sign.
All right, thank you. Kevin, you seconded that?
Aye.
And Ben,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
thanks. All right, thanks, Tori.
Yep.
Uh,
I think I have a few more.
all right, so we're on to 9B. Bayberry Court.
Bayberry.
Okay, so this is the community foundation sign. You had submitted this before, gave us some options or questions about logo design. What?
Yeah, basically, you'll put sign like with the new logo above the front door. And this one, in that application, I had just gotten your opinion about a second or third location for a second sign. So now we're back with a second application for a second sign. Their preference is on the Pleasant Street side, as indicated by my photos. I did include this as part of the application, as this was one of the options, but they prefer the location on the Pleasant Street side instead. And I did include some neighboring signs as reference points for you all. And they do understand there's not a door on the Pleasant Street side, which is one of your, I believe, preferences and or regulations. They're happy to change one of the windows to a door if that would facilitate a better conversation about a sign being on the Pleasant Street side. And they're looking to do the same sign as above the front door, but over here on that you've already prior application approved, but on this side as well.
Okay, Tori, I can give you a little history on this. This is not the first time this has been floated.
Yes, that's been mentioned. Yeah.
And so, I think even in prior applications, they requested if they were to put a door, would that change the opinion? We could go back and read the minutes from those meetings, but I think that the consensus was that that door would not really be a true door, in that there's no easy way to get to the door. So it would clearly be more of a faux door for signage purposes. And the history has been, and it's more than one applicant has tried to put a sign in this location. The history has been that it's not succeeded in the past. So just wanting to, and I think that they might have even been the last applicant. So this might not be their first time trying. But saying that, I will let other board members weigh in as well. So Mark, Paul, Ben, and Kevin.
Yeah, sorry again. I don't know if it's just me or lack of coffee this morning. Can we run through the proposed look? Is this I don't know.
So we approved at the last meeting the sign over the door replacing the existing sign.
Okay.
And now they're proposing the same sign design be put on the Pleasant Street gable end, sort of overlooking the hill that's by the bus stop across from Stop and Shop.
That'd be a neat. Yeah. We have a site plan that shows this. Yeah. I guess if that's the application, I'm not in favor. Yeah. So we're looking at 3 signs on the site plan. Obviously, I presume we're only going to permit 2 for review. And yeah, I can't, if we're only discussing the one proposed for Pleasant Street, I'm not in favor, as it doesn't meet the guidelines. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. And Tori, just so that we have a complete review, you have 2 proposed locations, both being, where's the second proposed location, just so I can be.
So I just wanted to clarify what you just said. The one that we're proposing is not on the gable end. It's on the Pleasant Street side, which is the I believe that's the west elevation.
Right. Sorry. Okay. So it's not a gable end, but it is the overlook bus stop facing the Stop and
Right,
Shop.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
All right. And then your other proposed location is on the gable
Was
end.
the gable end, yeah.
If we go to the site plan for a moment, let's just make sure we can understand that so we can review all options at once. So that is facing, this is the building that has NCTV in it as well, right? Am I correct?
Oh, no, it does, but not in this area of the building. That's to the left of this entrance on the first floor.
Yeah, okay. No, but it's that building. So the other
On
one,
Dave Street, yeah.
the other one is sort of facing Marine Home Center's parking area. Is that correct? Or is it?
You got it. Yep.
Okay, so there's the gable end. Is there a door into this space on that elevation?
On the gable end, no. There are windows though, and again, we could propose a door and that would be appropriate. There's a sidewalk and parking there if that would facilitate a helpful response, but I'll leave it up to you guys to discuss.
Okay, so just giving everybody the full context. So,
yep.
Mark, before we go on to Paul, do you have any comments on the gable end location that
That would face
that sort of faces the Marine's new design center? You know, you're in that back part of the Sophie T's parking lot area.
Yeah, I guess. But there's no entrance at that facade?
Not at the moment. There's in the picture, if you scroll up, Vicky,
There's a window or something under it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm less convinced they need such prominent and a quantity of signage for this. They've got their entrance is clearly marked with the sign as approved, and I don't see other entrances or arguments for corner condition at this time. So I'm not in favor of either at the moment.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Paul?
Yes, I would agree with what Mark just said. I don't know what additional signs are going to do for them. And by the way, this has not been reviewed by the condominium association either. So I think that the sign over the main entrance, that's the only way to get in, is what's approvable.
Okay. Thanks, Paul.
I'm assuming that sign, I shouldn't assume anything, but is a similar rectangular sign similar to the one they're showing us in this current screen.
That's what we approved last time. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fine. I don't have any problem with that.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
Why is it being replaced then, if that's what we approved?
That was, is she showing, we approved that to replace the logo design at the last meeting.
Oh, okay.
Now they're copying the sign.
All right.
And proposing it in a different location. So
yeah. My other comment, just from the condominium association point of view, is anything on the back side of this building, which is the Pleasant Street side, which looks down on the parking lot for Cape Cod 5, is not going to be seen by anybody going to that location. It's just a waste, it seems. It's high up in the air. It's covered with trees. It's just not an appropriate place for a sign. Okay.
All right. Thanks. Ben?
Yeah, I'll just real quickly, if the Community Foundation wants to add a second entrance to that gable end, then I would be willing to entertain a modest, i.e. small, sign that marks that door accesses the Community Foundation. So I'm not closing the book on that, but it would in my opinion, would be really small just to identify that door enters into that business. It would not be of a scale that would feel more like a billboard or even a large marker. So Not totally against the door and a sign there, but it would really be for the sole use of identifying the use of that door. So.
Thanks. To that point, actually, the guidelines would say it needs to be at least 20% smaller. So
good.
For starters, that would be required. And Kevin.
Yes, two things. Number one, I don't believe that adding a door gives permission to put a sign. I think our guidelines call for the signs to be at or near the entrance. The other point is that I understand this is the busy time of year, but these past couple applications have been very incomplete, causing confusion and really eating up a lot of time. So I am not in favor of either one of these additions, and am happy to make a motion to deny.
Oh, okay, that's a motion. Do we have a second?
What was the motion?
The motion, Kevin is motioning to deny the applicant, recommend denial. Tori, I would say if you want to withdraw the application, it could be, you could, revisit ideas and resubmit.
Yep, I would agree with that, and I'm happy to withdraw it if that is doable.
That's certainly doable. So we would.
One suggestion on that, that's fine. I would suggest that, so we don't get hung up further, that we get a master sign plan on this building that's done in coordination with the homeowner or with the association, so that we don't have this come back in the future. Thanks.
Okay, so any future applications, yeah.
Yeah, just to be clear, we were planning on submitting both, depending on your review, to the homeowner association, of course.
Okay. Okay, so I think maybe we can send a note, possibly, Paul, if you could help us communicate. Maybe we should just ask for the association to consider master sign plans. All of their buildings are multi-tenant spaces, so that would be a helpful thing to coordinate at some point. But for today, you're withdrawing the application, Tori?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, please.
All right. Great. Okay. So
she's withdrawing without prejudice, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe. Is that correct, Tori?
Yes, that'd be great.
Thank you. Okay, so at 33 Main Street, we have a projecting sign that's back before us. It was reviewed previously. We recommended at the time that they use the same existing projecting armature or location. Is anybody on the line for this?
That's me again, Chris.
Oh, sorry, thanks. Okay. What has changed with the application here? Walk us through this.
So the last conversation we had, you did approve it at the top of the stairs, as I had explained to you that was the only entrance into the store. But since then, it's been brought to my attention that double green door is where they would prefer the sign, is actually the entrance, and the floor plan shows that you enter and go through these doors and down the stairs to the left. So they're back before you to ask if they could relocate it to their preferred location at these double green doors. Same sign, same size, same bracket.
Okay. So let's start with Paul and move on to Ben, Kevin, Mark.
Okay, excuse me. So which sign are we talking about?
So it's the projecting sign that was previously approved, this sign.
Yeah.
But the bracket, if we scroll down, was here at the top of the stairs. That's sort of on the back side of the building from the Main Street perspective. And they want to move it to the left on that elevation to this location here. Being those doors.
Okay, I don't have any problem with that.
Okay. All right, Ben.
So I'm excited to see these doors actually used in a fun way, because they've been they're a fun set of doors that seem to be sort of neglected there. So it would be nice to see this as an entrance to a business. I feel like this application is sort of lacking in detail as far as, where this bracket's gonna go. In, elevation and how that size of the sign relates to the doors in the area. So I'm not really comfortable just blanket approving this as submitted, but I am comfortable with IDing those doors as the front entrance and locating the sign here. Regarding the sign itself, it looks like there's no border on it. It looks like it's just the blue kind of bleeds off. So definitely looking for a little bit more, some type of border on the sign itself. So I'm generally going to be comfortable with this location, but I want to see the details a little more thoroughly.
Okay, this was approved, am I correct, Nikki, as far as the design? I think we asked for a order.
Yes, it was approved, as submitted, but, to be placed at this location. Because at the time, Paul had asked her at the last meeting if this was an entrance, because he wasn't sure, but she said no. And then because of that, everyone said this would be the best fit. But now that it's an entrance,
And was the approval, did it go through with a border recommended? Or was there a border, Tori, is there a border on this sign?
I didn't speak. I believe the border is white. Can
Okay,
you scroll up, Nikki?
okay, well, oh, there we go.
Oh, there it is.
There you go. Yeah.
That's good.
That looks good.
Okay, so thank you, Ben. Kevin?
I have no issue with the sign being moved to that location. I do think that we need some detail as to exactly where it's going.
Okay, and Mark?
I agree with what's been said.
Okay, so Tori, it sounds like let me just run around the board for a moment so that we can have clear direction. If it were the same height as the existing bracket in the center of that column that's shown in the proposed location.
That's what we were intending.
Yeah, I don't think that column's the right place to put it. That's
Okay.
far from the door.
Okay, so you'd rather see maybe, then where, Ben, do you think? Centered in between the column and the door?
Between the column and the jamb of the door, there's that line of brick there. I think it wants to be in that space, really much closer to the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's good intel. Any other board members? I'll just open it up, have comments about the location.
I tend to agree with that too. I think I'm concerned about the height. If you just move it straight over, I think that would be too high. I think the grade, slopes a little bit there. So some detail would help.
Okay.
So I think Ben's in the right area.
And keeping in mind the bottom needs to be at least 7'6" from the sidewalk per the guidelines. Tori.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. All right.
Could we approve it? Could we approve it at that location to be the 7'6" off the sidewalk?
Are any board members?
I keep reflecting on a really poorly placed sign that we approved recently, and I think it's because we lack details in that review. So I gotta see some drawings here, some exact, because that other one on Main Street continues to bother me.
Okay.
All right.
Motion to hold for revisions.
Second.
Thanks. Paul, are you in favor?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Mark? Kevin?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, guys. So it sounds like you have pretty good direction from us there, Tori.
Yep.
34 Main Street. We're across the street looking at Ellsworth and Ivy. This was before us before. Commissioner comments were that it was a little underwhelming, I think, with the size and graphic on the building. Is there anybody on the call for this one?
Yep, that's me again.
Okay, what has changed in the application?
So you were looking for some kind of a thicker or more pronounced border And so we've added, I believe it's a beveled edge painted black with a thicker width to it. We talked about a couple different things, a frame, a coved detail. So we're hoping that the beveled edge with the thicker painted black edge might do the trick.
Okay, so size has not changed or anything else, simply the border design has changed.
Correct. Which is, I believe, what was specifically requested.
Okay, so we'll go Kevin, Mark, Paul, Ben.
Okay. Honestly, my comments are the same as last time. I really can't tell. I can't tell how thick this is. I can't tell what the border really is. I don't believe at that distance that a simple bevel edge is going to really have much of a reveal. There's a lot of detail on this building that I think it would be relatively easy to pick up. So my comment's the same as last time. This looks like a piece of tape that's put across the front of the building, and it's just not working for me as a sign, especially on Main Street. Thanks.
All right, Mark.
Yeah, I might agree with Kevin. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay, any other comments or move on to Paul?
Could I see a picture of the whole building and see how this compares to the sign on the neighboring store in the building?
So at the moment, Southern Tide is occupying the space to the left.
That's the, okay.
There's the existing sign next to it. And then you've got the Cohen and Cohen projecting sign in
Right.
between the two.
And then what's over the building to the store to the left?
That's what's to the left is the Southern Tide, to the right is what's being proposed.
What does the Southern Tide look like? Oops, can we? Right there. Okay, so it's fairly similar. That's where I was going. The two signs on that building are fairly similar in size and so forth and location. So I don't have any problem with it.
All right. Thanks, Paul. Ben.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Paul. I think ultimately this little sign is probably going to be just fine up there, but I think what's lacking is detail and a little bit more obvious implication on this application. I hope all applicants are listening to my comments today and realizing that I would like to see better details of these things, images that are actually to scale. And I know that's a step beyond. I know signs shouldn't facilitate architectural plans, but I think we really need to see how these signs are scaling to the existing buildings better. So again, I think ultimately this sign is going to fit hopefully very well, but we're relying on trust of our applicants and not an actual detailed plan that determines that. So I think I'm okay with this one, but in the future, I'm really want to see better presentations and details.
Okay, thanks. Tori, question for you, just relative to size. This is 6¼ by 48. Is that the same size as the Southern Tide sign, or is it?
I believe so. We were trying to mimic and have a balance in that respect. And the NIR is planning to patch up and clean up the area behind the sign where the vis-a-vis sign was formerly held.
Okay, that's just for clarification.
Yep.
All right, so we've got some varying opinions. Does somebody want to make a motion and put this to a vote?
I'd make a motion to approve with the sign matching the size of the Southern Tide sign.
Second.
Okay, Kevin, are you in favor?
No, there's not enough detail for me. I'm not in favor.
Okay, Mark?
No, I would have the same concerns as Kevin.
Okay, Ben
Aye.
and Paul?
Aye.
I will vote for approval on this if it's the same size as the Southern Tide sign. So Tori, we will want to, it'll be obvious if it isn't. So
Absolutely.
make sure, and Nikki, let's make sure that the minutes reflect that. Has to match
Well,
size. Is that
but then
administratively okay?
she needs to submit, like, I need something that shows the dimensions that it matches that one, because we need that for the file.
Okay.
Please.
Can submit something.
Yeah, so Tori, please do that. And please submit while you're doing that a detail of the bevel design.
You got it.
Just to at least address some of the other concerns of our dissenting members. Thank you.
No problem.
So we'll let that, can we make our approval be a staff approval? Ben, would you be willing to
So
make
moved.
your,
Yep.
Second.
thanks. Kevin, would you be in favor of that?
Which was this?
This is now just allowing staff approval for
Oh,
if it's
sure.
Yeah. Okay,
Aye.
Mark. Mark,
What was the question?
if you will consent to Nikki having staff approval for.
Yeah, but I was already not.
Yeah, I
mean,
know.
guess
So you can say no on this. It's
I'm going to say no. There's no.
okay. And Paul
Aye.
and Ben.
Aye.
Okay, I am as well. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, so we have Straight Wharf, we have the Bagel Bar. Is anybody on the sign?
Yep.
Call for this?
That's me again.
Hey, welcome back. All right. So we have a wall sign,
Yes.
4-foot diameter. And it's being proposed where Snackle used to be. I'm assuming that's what we're seeing.
Correct. On that gable end, correct.
Okay. All right. I think we're up for Mark, Paul, Ben, Kevin, if I going correctly.
Is the 48-inch scale wise? How?
You know, that's a good question. Actually, the sign guidelines do have a limit for heights of wall signs. Let me pull that up real quick.
Feels big. It's kind of had a.
While I look that up, feel free to discuss anything else that you have on.
So this is going to basically go where the previous sign was. Is that correct? Under that window.
Yep.
Might be nitpicky, but a round sign below the rectangular window feels odd to me. If there was no window, and it was going to sit in the gable, I think I'd be more in favor.
Okay.
Versus the rectangular approach, which I think is more successful in the image we're seeing on the screen now. But I may be the only one that feels that way. Graphics, colors, I don't think I have concerns with that in general.
So interestingly, the wall sign guidelines kind of address the concerns you're pointing out, Mark. Horizontal format sign cannot exceed 2 feet in height. A vertical format sign can't exceed 6 square feet total. So this would be, and we measure signs by the square or rectangle that they fit inside of. So this would be 16 square feet.
Okay.
Depending on how you look at it, it's not quite vertical, it's not quite horizontal, but it doesn't, the guidelines I think are intending to keep scale,
Yep.
you know, one way or the other. So this may be better off as a different shape in order to get better visibility. That's something you and the applicant can talk about. But let me go through the rest of the panel just so that everybody has a chance to contribute.
Yep.
So Paul?
My only question is, do we like the three types of product they're selling, smoothies, schmears, and beers? I think I'm looking at an old version of the guidelines, so I'm not sure I'm right on this, but it talks about listing no more than one specific product or service.
I think that is still, that's still current in the guidelines.
Okay, I have to get a new version. So
So
that's my only question. Should those details be on there?
thanks, Paul. Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that's been said already. You know, I love this little location. It's, you know, what was it? All Serve, was it All Serve and then Juice Guys? And I mean, you know, it's been a mainstay for so long. You know, the signage on the side of the public bathroom there, I think is not great. I just, from a business standpoint, I just feel like I'm gonna look for this place and end up in a bathroom. So, it's an existing location. If you want to continue putting a sign there, I'm not going to vote against it, but I think if I were you, I would try to get better signage on the actual entrance to the building. You know, all the design topics and the content topics I think are relevant, and I would just suggest finding a better sign location, because I think this one's just, it's existing, and yes, we'll allow it, I think, but I don't think it's very good. So that's my feedback.
All right, thanks, Ben. Kevin?
I agree pretty much with what's been said. I think the circle shape is way too aggressive for a wall sign. I agree with Paul that the, you know, descriptors, there's too many of them. And I agree with Ben in that it'd be nice to see a sign somewhere near the entrance. That's all.
Okay, yeah, so Tori, in the beginning section of the sign book, where it talks about content, it does say more than one specific product or service should be included. So if you can bring that back to your client.
I can have that conversation with the client. It sounds like hold for revisions is the appropriate way to go here.
I believe that's where we're headed. Let's see if we get a motion.
Making a motion to hold for revisions.
Thanks, Ben. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thanks. Mark, you in favor?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Kevin? Ben?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you very much. I think that's the end of mine, Nikki, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
You too, thanks. Okay, here we are at 137A Orange Street. And
good morning. This is Mike from Plymouth Sign Company. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. We have two applications for this location. Tell us what you've done here with the revisions.
Yeah, so the last time we met or spoke, you asked for a few revisions, and we have done that. You asked if we would reduce the size of the logo by 15%, but we took the logo out. And you asked us that you couldn't have just straight lowercase letters, you would have to have serif on. So we, as you can see, we have a serif on the letters. We took away the logo. Still the same size as the existing sign, black background, 23 karat gold leaf, carved letters, and a routed edge on both signs.
Okay, so you have a beveled routed edge, but it's painted the same color as the sign. It's black.
No, the routed edge is 23 karat gold leaf.
Oh, it is. Okay, the application still shows it as black. Okay. Oh, I see. Routed edge 24. Thank you. Okay. Great. I believe we are back around to Paul, and then Ben, Kevin, Mark.
I don't have any questions or problems with this sign.
Thanks, Ben.
No, I think my concern was the edge, and it sounds like it's beveled and painted gold. And as long as that's not really illustrated well here in this graphic, but if that's the approval, then and that's clear on the application, then I'm fine with the proposed provision.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. And it is on the application, so.
Great.
Kevin?
I have no concerns, and I appreciate how well organized the applicant is.
Thanks, Mark.
I agree with Kevin.
All right, so this is for the first sign. There's two signs at this location. This sign is the one that we're seeing here.
Make a motion to approve as submitted.
Second.
Thank you, Kevin.
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and Ben.
Aye.
All right, let's move around to the side of this building. There's a projecting sign.
Yes. And yes, same, we did the same thing as your recommendation. We, the logo, and we put serifs on the letters. They are still to remain black background with 23 karat gold leaf carved letters and a 23 karat gold routed edge on both sides. It's a two-sided sign. It's a projecting sign. We're just replacing the existing.
Great, thanks. Any need for discussion with the board? Anybody want to make a motion?
Motion
Move
approved.
to
as
approve.
submitted.
I'm going to give Mark the motion to approve.
Second.
Thanks, Kevin. Ben, in favor?
Aye.
And Paul?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
All right, great. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. I have one question, if I could, while I have you. What's going on is there, as you can see, they're changing their name. They've been bought out. And when this conversion takes place, the sign will not be ready. And they would like to put a temporary sign up. And I know I have to submit something. I just want to know what the specs were for having a temporary sign. Can you do a banner, or does it have to be a sign? It doesn't have to be carved. What are the specs for doing a temporary sign that would be up for like 2 weeks?
How long? Well, it would have to, the sign book does talk about temporary signage. It's not really intended for commercial businesses in a banner fashion. So you'd have to just review and you have to apply. So the process is, you're right back here before us. So I'm not sure if that's going to help expedite.
Well, of course, okay. I didn't see any square footages or dimensions. They did mention the word banners on there. I was just thinking about doing something like a 2 foot by 4 foot sign, an 8 square foot sign, put on the front of the building while we are fabricating this new sign you just approved. So when I do present it, I want to be able to present it right. So we don't have to come back.
Yeah, any sign would have to comply with the guidelines and come before us. I guess just read the sign book and figure out what works, with your timetable, and then we would.
Okay, because
based on the
okay. All right. I'll present something, but it doesn't give me any dimension what I can and cannot use. That's why I figured I'd ask you guys, because this is what you approved. So, all right, I'll do whatever I can for research.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you.
31 Fairgrounds. Is anybody on the call for Wiggles Way?
Yes. Hi.
Chris,
Hello. Yes.
excuse me. I have to excuse myself from this discussion.
Okay.
It's for Housing Nantucket and I'm on the board.
Okay, thank you, Paul.
Mhm.
All right. Who is representing?
Maria.
Okay, just say your name if you would for the record.
Yeah, Maria Parco.
Okay. And we have an application for a rock sign,
Yes.
subdivision rock sign. Okay. Let's have, let's see, we don't have Paul, so we'll do Ben, Kevin, Mark.
Great. So, yeah, I believe the sign is there. So, we were looking at it as no condition if anybody's curious. I forget where we land on rock signs now. I know that they're for rural areas. I would like to think that Fairgrounds is a rural area, even though I think it's quickly not becoming one. But yeah, I mean, did we allow one for Sachem's Path? I don't recall. I'm just trying to remember where our precedent is for these things. Generally, I don't really have a problem with it if it replaces a typical signpost, but I guess I need a refresher on our stance on these things.
I think the most similar application would be Anchor Village. That was the one that really went through the original ringer of getting approval. If that helps give you some context.
Yeah. So, I mean, I generally don't really have a problem with this one. I think rock signs are quaint and inconspicuous, so I'm okay with this one, I think.
Okay. Kevin?
I have no concerns.
Okay. Mark?
No concerns.
Okay. I agree with you guys. Would somebody like to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Thanks, Mark. Kevin?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
And I am as well. Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. All right, so we have Main Street, multiple locations for temporary signs for the film festival.
Yep.
Who's on the call for this?
I'm here for this. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Just state your name for the record, please.
Jacqueline Wall.
Thank you,
The
Jack.
festival producer, done all the sign applications for the last 5 years.
Okay. Go ahead and give us the rundown on this application.
Sure. So we were approved 10 years ago to do lamppost signs. And so we had for an anniversary year, this year is our 30th anniversary. So the proposal is to have banner signs down Main Street, every other pole. So it's about 10 poles, and then 9 on Main Street, and then 1 in front of the Dreamland, as previously done in 2015. The select board is already aware. We've submitted a letter. You should have the letter in the application that was sent to the town manager. We needed this approved by the sign committee and HDC before it gets approved by the select board.
Okay, thank you. And this was approved 10 years ago, you're right.
Correct.
So let's go down the list. We'll do Kevin, Paul, Mark, and Ben. Kevin?
I generally have no concerns with this. I think there's a missed opportunity that there's no way to become aware that it's the anniversary. It seems to me that if we allow banners on Main Street with the caveat that it's around, a milestone, that we should call out the milestone. But that's my only comment.
I can submit a different design that it says established 1996. When we submitted for our 20th anniversary, I believe I wasn't the one that did the application, but we were asked not to put that and just to have the dates. So it's a differencing of opinion. But we do have a version that says established 1996, which indicates to the anniversary.
We'll see what others think.
Okay, so Paul?
I don't have any problem with it.
Ben?
Yeah, no concern. I mean, yeah, the anniversary, it would be interesting to have the 30th anniversary noted on there, but I appreciate the simplicity of the sign, so I'm okay with it.
Okay, Mark?
Yeah, I agree with what's been said.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine as is. And so would somebody
Move approval.
Thanks, Paul.
Second.
Thanks, Ben. Mark?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
And Mark?
Aye.
I think I lost.
Aye again. I voted twice.
Everybody's in approval. Thank you.
And I believe the next couple are me as well.
Okay. So we are at 12 Oak Street temporary sign. Go ahead and talk
Yeah.
about that one.
So this is to go above the door of Douglas Elliman, our box office and registration space. It's been here since 2019, and we've had the sign placed here every year since then, starting the day the box office opens, which is a little bit earlier than the festival. So this year will be June 18th, and will be taken down on June 30th.
I'd motion to approve. Sorry, guys.
Second.
All right, there we go, Paul.
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Ben,
Aye.
great. Thank you. And we have another location for 17 South Water. This is
Again,
okay.
Yep.
Banner or sign on the sides of the marquee as before.
Mhm.
Any discussion or motion?
Motion to approve as submitted.
All right, Ben, thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Mark, you got it. Kevin, you in favor?
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Ben,
Aye.
thank you. And we're at 5 North Water. We have, is this a previously approved application?
It is a previously approved application. I think the sign just looks a little bit bigger than it actually is up there, but it's, I think the scaling is wrong, but this has been a previously approved location.
Okay. Discussion or motions?
Move approval.
Thank you, Paul.
Second.
Thank you, Mark. Kevin,
Aye.
Ben,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
All right, thanks, guys. I think that takes care of the film festival, correct?
There should be one more for the high
Oh.
school.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right. High school location, the banner. Now this has 2 banners showing. Is that?
It does. This was previously approved. We don't always have an event at the high school, but when it has been, this is what has been approved. We can do one. I think it was, again, I wasn't part of the initial application process when it was first approved in 2015, but it was because the space was so big that they wanted to be able to have additional signage because of the expansive space.
I would motion to approve with 1.
Second.
Thanks, Mark. I agree there. So thank you, Paul. Kevin, are you in favor?
Aye.
Ben,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
I am as well. So that's a motion for approval with 1 sign, not 2.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Now that takes care of the film festival.
Thank you all.
Thanks. And we're back to 5 North Water. This is now the Performing Arts Center signs. Who's on the call?
Drew Kulikowski, Executive Director of Nantucket Performing Arts Center.
Hey, Drew, go ahead and talk to us about this application.
So Nantucket Performing Arts Center, it said on the agenda, it still has the name of the previous building owner, but we purchased the building just about 6 weeks ago, and we are anxiously getting it ready for this summer. Nantucket Performing Arts Center is the name of the organization that owns the building, the nonprofit, as well as the venue. Our intention here was just to replace the exact size and structure of the signs that were there with the previous building tenant, just putting our name on the building. So it's one sign that faces Whalers Lane, and then one sign that faces the courtyard over our main entrance. Again, exactly, both signs are identical and are the exact size of what was there before.
Okay, so we have 1 application. Is that right, Nikki? Even though it's signs? Okay, well, I'm seeing 1 application in the view pack, but we do have 2 locations shown. So let's let the board members discuss it. Oh, sorry, Nikki, were you weighing in?
Oh, yeah, it's just they only submitted 1 application.
Okay.
Just realized it's 2 signs. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So we would need, Drew, a second application submitted, so showing, we see the two locations, but giving each sign its individual statistics and details. But we can discuss this, assuming that this sign is located, the application is discussing it being, well, it's showing it for both. Why don't we let the board members just discuss it in general, and then we'll figure out how we proceed procedurally. Mark, Ben, Kevin, Paul.
Yeah, I'm generally fine with it if I look at the previous approval. And I think I'd like to think it's the intent, but we'll just add it to the comments that the new sign should fit within the panel above the doors as the previous did. Whereas the graphic, I think it may be just the graphic presented, and hopefully that is the intention, that it would sit within that recess panel.
Yes, I measured exactly where you can see the previous one was. I can still see the mark, so it is the exact same size as
That is the intent. Yeah. Is it bordered?
It was not, because the previous sign wasn't, but we would be happy to add one if that makes it better.
Don't take it as criticism, but I'll say the new sign is a little bit more vanilla than the previous. I think stylistically, the last one was visually a little more interesting. I think where this is just so straightforward. I think a border might be a good idea here, even though it sits within a panel. Is that a blue on white or a black on white?
It is blue.
Blue, okay. So
it is the center color.
Bordered in the blue would be fine. I think those are my only comments.
Thanks, Mark. We'll go Ben, Kevin, Paul.
Yeah, I agree with Mark. I think, I'm really excited to see a new owner here, and you guys, taking over this space is great. I think it feels as if the sign is a little bit of a rush design. I'd like to see a little bit more care put into the font and the border. It feels a little underwhelming. So I'd like to see the sign a little bit more thought and finesse put into the design and the font of the sign.
Thanks, Ben. Kevin?
From what I can tell, it looks like a sans serif font in upper and lower case, which would not be appropriate. So that would be my primary concern, is that the type is not appropriate. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
I would agree with Kevin.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yeah, Drew.
So this is our logo. If you were to look at our website, we did this quickly. It's that the letters are stacked, so you see NPAC. So this was a version of our logo, which is this font and this color, just put into a horizontal. So I think changing the typeface would be difficult, and so I'm curious if you could provide a little more insight on that.
Sure. The guidelines do call for serif traditional fonts. You're not alone. FedEx is a great example. Their logo is clearly a sans serif logo, and they actually did, and Stop and Shop as well. Both those companies have added serifs to their signage to comply with the historic guidelines. So putting serifs isn't that difficult. It can be done and still keep the general appearance of your logo or of your font branding. There is an allowance if you wanted to say, this is our logo, we have to stick with our logo, then your maximum size relative to the overall size of the sign would be 15%. So you'd have to have your logo only occupy 15% of the sign, which clearly would cause other problems here. So that's just sort of how the guidelines read.
Thank you.
And I also appreciate the comments about the border. I always felt that the white heron sign, I questioned actually whether it was truly wood. It always appeared to be a little bit more of a glossy print than a painted wood to me, but it also clearly lacked historical, a border to give it that historical sort of context feeling. So I think the sign would do well to update and comply with the guidelines.
Great.
So having said all of that,
I would like to hold for revisions.
thank you, Ben.
Second.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Ben,
Aye.
and Mark.
Aye.
Great. And clearly, 2 sign applications should be presented for approval next time.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Joe. All right, I believe that actually gets us through our marathon of new applicants. Is that correct, Nikki?
Yes,
Yes, okay.
that's it.
Thank you, guys. That was strong work. Now we are on
Sure.
to violation notices. Oh, go ahead, Nikki.
No, I was just curious, the iPhone 82, I'm not sure who that is, but that's fine.
Somebody having a good listen today. Okay, so the violations, you sent out the spreadsheet.
Yep, I sent out the spreadsheet. I have a few things to discuss. I'm just trying to pull it up so I can share my screen. And Paul, I did receive your email. That construction sign on North Mill, he's removed the sign. He did it yesterday. He brought in a photo. However, the actual freestanding post, he made me aware that he wasn't the one that put that up. It was actually the property owner. So I had to reach out to the property owner to remove the post itself. But you know, the construction sign inside the window is gone, but they're going to remove the post as well. Let me see. There's another one. I overlooked the gas station signs. So I'll be sending out those notices today. For the neon open sign, and then I think there's a freestanding red open sign as well.
Correct.
And in regards to the sewer sign, I didn't send that out because Leslie wanted to discuss it with me first, just so everybody. Oh, did you see? Oh no, it won't work. Okay, hold on.
What was that?
Oh, I have to find it. But I think everybody knows that
We
sign.
know
It's
the
the sewer sign. Yeah, I
On the
think on
fence.
South Shore. So I spoke with Leslie yesterday about it. She says it's federally regulated that they have to put that up based on the federal funding that they received. So, you know,
Does it have to stay forever or just during?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
I'll
Perpetuity?
have to check with her on that. She didn't say, but she just said they received federal funding and by law they have to put it up. So that's why I didn't send a notice out. So she just wanted me to let, you know, the members know that that's why it's up and, you know, it's not going to be removed right now. So I don't know
Okay.
if it'll be there forever, but
Is
Did
it
the-
regulated?
did the
I
checks
mean, it
clear?
raises a lot of questions, I guess, in terms of like who maintains it? Are we now, is the town responsible for its maintenance and therefore it's up for the next 100 years? Was it regulated by scale? Did it need to be of that scale? I assume the content was regulated, but could it be
Which
much
is
smaller?
expired.
I don't know.
Could it be moved on the
Yeah,
property?
behind the building.
Yeah.
behind the building.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't think people are stopping to read that sign very often.
No, it's not doing anything to the community.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to get, you know, your comments and then I can touch base with Leslie and possibly the town manager. Same thing for the, well, you can't see it because of my background, but anyway, Paul had sent over a for rent sign down, I think it's 34 Center Street.
Correct.
He discussed that with me yesterday. So I just want to get a consensus from everyone, how we feel about that. She just feels like it's a universal sign. Do we really want to start sending out notices for that? So I just want to go around to see how everybody feels. Let me pull it up, Mark.
It's big. I mean, that
Give
thing's
me a
been there for a
second.
while, and I was hoping it would just go away, but yeah, she's had a good couple months of that thing up, and it's huge, and you're not allowed to do that. I mean, I think that's in the guidelines that you're not allowed to do that. So,
Okay.
I mean, if it was the 1 foot square, that would be a different thing, but it's like, or it used to be like.
It's not like the little one you could buy at a hardware store type thing.
I mean, you probably bought it at a hardware store, but it's like,
Yeah, it looks
it's big. I mean, I think it's like 2 by 3 or something, or at least I recall it being that big.
I want to pull it up. Hold on.
Yeah, and generic or not, we don't really see them around, and there's a reason for that. I think it's.
I mean, I think it's in the guidelines.
Worth,
It is. It's like a for sale sign.
Right.
Right. Real estate sign. It's a real estate sign.
It's a real estate sign, yeah.
So, yeah, I think
I mean, she kind of got a pass on that for the past 3 months in my mind because I've been staring at it for that long. I was hoping someone would just move in there and then we could move on with our lives, but.
Yeah, that's where what Leslie was getting at, that, you know, she just feels like it's very temporary. She just doesn't want to be sending out. Okay, so here we go, just so everybody can see what I'm referring to. So that's what was sent in.
Okay, and beside that now is another sign. It's round, I think. That says something similar, and it says VTT management.
Oh, BTT managed. Yeah, I've sent that company a ton of. They own quite a few. The violations that I sent out, they own quite a few of the buildings.
Yeah.
But okay. Well, can you send a photo of the VTT, because that was never approved anyway?
Okay, I'll try to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess everybody's saying we should send a notice. She just wanted me to stay, you know, she just feels like it's very temporary and it's like a universal sign. She just doesn't want to.
Well, then a temporary sign should be applied for.
But
if that's her argument.
There you go.
Okay. I'm taking notes and I will
Thanks, Nikki.
go back to her about, yeah, I mean, it's all I can do. But that's why this one wasn't sent out, because she wanted to discuss it with me first. So.
Okay. All right, and
Sounded
then
like
there
we
were.
should send the notice, so that's what I'll be doing.
Thanks. And then there's a few others. The state forest, any headway?
I did receive, well, I had to reach out to somebody from downtown to see that used to work there with the National Park Service. So he gave me 2 emails. So I'm going to reach out to those 2 persons to see if I hear back anything. But from my original email, nothing, no response.
Yeah, I just think it's really important that since we've had cooperation from, you know, Land Bank, Land Council, trustees, residents, all these other organizations, that there's no free pass for that sort of a thing.
Oh, there's one more, the Cape Cod 5. Oh, and that A&M painting, I'm not sure who sent that in for the Mariner Way. I just gave him a call. He took it away, and he did do it, because on Friday I had to do a property inspection down there and it's gone. So that one's done. Old South Road, the Nantucket Stone, I was on my walk this weekend. They took it down with the multiple signs, so that one's gone. And I haven't been downtown to do like the old wharf area to see if those are gone yet, but they should have received my notice by now, because I sent those about a week and a half ago.
They were removed, except for the beauty bar or beauty counter, which I believe may have been approved because it is that actual building. I'm not sure, but all the other ones were removed as of, I think, yesterday.
Okay.
So.
But yeah, I'm working on them. I saw the others that you sent. I'll try to get those out this week. There's another one. Oh, Cape Cod 5. So Cape Cod 5, Ben, you had sent that one in. Poyant Signs reached out to me because they did the design. Chris and I are actually going to meet with them today, because they're saying they did use cedar. So they're coming over to have us go down to inspect at 0 Main Street and Pleasant Street so that we can see that it's really wood.
Right.
So we'll.
What it's worth, I mean, I looked at that very closely. The left of the door, I believe, is where that sign is located. And then I'm making the assumption they use the same material for all their signage. It does look like a foam material, and I think it's a type of foam, I think, and that you can actually see some imperfections in the sign manufacturing where the foam then is, the texture of it is revealed. So maybe if you are looking
coming
at
all the way over to
the
claim that it's cedar, I mean,
what's that?
That's a big claim to come all the way over to be like, no, it's cedar. It's like, really? I mean,
Yeah.
Well, they're
Very
coming,
interesting.
I asked the same question. I said, are we really going down to meet people coming from the Cape just for this? But they're coming to well, they're replacing a bracket, Nikki, and then in the course of that.
The brackets are rusty, so they were gonna come over anyway.
Oh, okay.
So she's like, while we're here, we could have, the chair come down, you come down, we can take it down and you can see that it is cedar.
Good luck.
Headquarters reached out to me as well from off island and they're saying no, they did use cedar. So I
Interestingly,
don't know.
they sent a photo. This is
yeah, I'm trying to
plain
find the
sleuth.
photo. Hold on.
But the photo they sent had a smooth background. They did send a photo of a wood sign that says Cape Cod 5.
I found it.
Yeah, show this.
She sent me
Oh,
this
that's a nice
photo
sign.
that they took prior to obviously painting it to show that it is cedar that they used or wooden materials. So I was
What's
like,
interesting, though, Nikki, if you look at it and you zoom in, this has a perfectly smooth background.
Yep. Yeah, they
And-
have that fake grain on those.
And all of their signs here have the fake grain. So unless
That's a
they,
beautiful sign.
yeah,
which is what I stated in my letter, because the motion clearly stated wood material and a smooth background.
Oh.
Yeah, it's in the
nice.
motion. So that was in the letter that I
yeah.
sent.
So it's, this might be a wood sign that says Cape Cod 5. I'm not going to the same signs that are on there.
We
Honestly,
want this one.
I'm not.
Yeah.
So nice looking sign.
Anyway,
This was the construction sign, so that's now taken out, but he wasn't the one with the post, like I said. So the owner, I sent an email for him to just remove the entire freestanding
Great.
post. Yeah.
great. So for any other it's that time of year. We're seeing a lot of signs pop up. So just anything you email me, I forward on.
It looks like I saw Gaslight was on that list. They've been notified, presumably.
Yes, I sent them a notice last week. So I'm hoping to hear back from them very soon.
Yeah.
I got multiple emails about that from the public as well. I was telling Chris.
Yeah, that was pretty.
What was that?
The
Gaslight. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
literally a backlit sign.
It's like plastic too. It looks so cheap.
Awful.
And oh, here it is, Paul. It was brought to my attention that it actually lights up in the night.
Nice.
So yeah, that's not gonna work, but that's it here.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there it is. Classic.
And then while I was doing the minutes, did we approve the minutes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was one of the first things we did.
You know, it was interesting on that last image we just looked at. You've noticed all the FDC signs that have gone up?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not making an issue of it, but it was an interesting observation. They're good size. They're very prominent.
yeah, they're
I
all
guess
over
it's necessary.
They're
on
everywhere.
Richmond buildings as well, I noticed.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's the fire department.
Or, yeah, I don't know. I don't know who drove that. I was surprised to see that.
But there's quite a bit of them.
Yeah, there
And
are.
then Kevin made a good point while I was doing the minutes regarding the chalkboard signs for me to just touch base with the new police chief, because that would be very helpful. Because I was telling Chris, like, I don't only do signs, I also do property inspections, and then I also work with the zoning board of appeals. So I can't catch everything, but it'll be nice if they could just tackle that aspect of it, because they're on the road anyway in the summer. So I'll talk to Leslie to see if we could set up a meeting with the police chief and have them do those, because there's quite a lot of them downtown.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Thanks, Nikki. Any other questions, comments, or concerns?
I just have a comment. I'm sure everybody's probably thinking the same thing, but on some of these applications where they're really not complete, I kind of think we ought to just be holding them right at the get-go instead of taking all of our time. If they don't have the basics done, let's just go from there.
I completely agree with Kevin. We lost a half an hour reviewing applications that we couldn't really fully weigh in on because it lacked information and details that are just required. So I too grew frustrated with that.
I do agree. And just for our like Tori, she sent in a bunch because she was supposed to be on the last meeting and we didn't put her on because it was incomplete. So what you received today was additional. So it was less complete before. So we do review it, and if they don't have everything, we hold them. But I'll just let the admin staff know, the front end staff, because they review it and stamp. To just not take them in at all.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it just takes up too much time. It's confusing. And I did tell her, like, you have to put it, I know she's new to this because she's taken over for sign here, but I said you need to show it on the facade of the structure. I explained all of that to her. Still didn't do it. So thanks for that, Kevin. It's noted. Just won't accept it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think when it comes, if they do get through to us, I'm not going to have any problem holding them. So.
Okay.
Thanks, Kevin. Just so let me just ask procedurally then, if we get to, because sometimes it's a little gray. I will do a better job. I'll try to look through the view packs ahead of time and pull out what looks like it's clearly not ready. But sometimes we're a little more lenient than others with respect to a location being moved or proposed in one place or another. So I guess I would ask if anybody sees the view pack come out and clearly thinks that there's an application that isn't ready, just shoot me an email and I'll flag it so that we're not, because sometimes it's hard to know what a complete application is until we're scrolling through it during the meeting.
You see it, yeah.
Look ahead of time, that'd be great.
Okay.
Any other motions?
Motion to adjourn.
Wow, I think we had a unanimous.
Wait, who was that? That's Kevin?
Let's give it to Kevin and Mark will get the second. Okay. Ben, are you in favor?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Ben? Ben, you have Paul, Mark, Kevin, everybody in favor?
All right. Yeah.
Everybody's in favor.
Raise your hand. Thank you.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good week.